So before I fillet our salmon, we have like a pound of salmon. This is going to be enough for 2 people, fillet. It has the skin on it. Now, when you get it, obviously when you buy it at the market, you want to make sure that it's already scaled, so that you don't have scales on it. I'm going to show you how to take the skin off. If you were not going to scale it and you wanted to cook it with the skin on, what you would do is you'd make incisions, okay? And then we would cook it skin side down. But we're going to take the skin off today. First, we have capers. And capers we're going to chop up. I don't like the whole capers for this kind of dish, so I just take our capers and rough chop it. Back and forth. They don't have to be like a paste, but a little chopping adds a little texture to them. And that's our capers. It's good enough. I'm going to scrape those and put them back in the bowl. There's the capers. We also have some dill. Turn our board down. We have some fresh dill. It's already been pre-washed. Make sure you wash it if you're buying it in a bunch. Sometimes it comes in the container. Dill's pretty clean, so you don't have to worry too bad about it. But I'm going to take my main stems off. I'm going to bunch it together. Okay, I'm going to go nice thin slices down. Not a chop back and forth. It's a straight chopping down as I'm lining up the dill. Smells great. That's our dill. Okay, put that off to the side. There we go. We also have our lemon. So with the lemon, we're just gonna, there's a couple ways you can do it. We're gonna be using the juice. So cut it in half for the lemon for later on. Okay. Let's go back to our salmon. And we're going to skin this. So what I'm doing is, I usually have the tail towards me, but the main thing is you have your cutting board is pretty solid and you have a pretty sharp knife. And what we're going to do is we're going to go right underneath the skin and we're going to lay our knife flat. So we're going to go like this, kind of at an angle first, and we need to get our knife flattened as we start. We need to get a little area to hold the skin. So we're able to get a hold on it, grip, and have it closer to me, to the body. There you go. So I have some grip on the skin, and I can see the fillet. What I want to do is go down to the skin, and now I want to lay it flat. I'm going to pull on the edges and start doing my knife to be flat as I'm following along. Try to get a grip at first. But make sure you're not cutting all the way through the skin. I'm laying that flat, and I'm going to do my knife flat, right? And then I've got a really good grip on the skin, and now I'm starting to pull and push away. I'm pushing away with my knife out that way. I'm pulling back this way with my skin. And check yourself and see where you are, and just keep going. Just make sure you're not cutting too far into the skin as you're pulling. Don't rush it, okay? We're going to continue to pull and flatten our knife out. See where you're doing, how you're doing. Okay, and I continue. And then I just keep going out one direction and pull in the other direction. So there we have our skin. I like salmon skin, so I would leave the skin on, but some people don't like it. So that's our skin off. We're going to leave this whole 1 pound piece together. I could also cut it in 2 portions as well. That's another option. But this is a nice sized piece, so I'm just going to cut the whole thing. You know what? We're going to cut it in half. We got 2 portions. There we go. 2 portions. This is a farm salmon, but I like wild as well. There's good farming and bad farming. Wherever your local market is, find out what they're doing, what's the best practice, where they're getting the fish from is the most important. So there's our fish, and we're ready to go. We're also going to have some clear oil and some olive oil as well. We have a non-stick pan on a medium heat. We're going to add our vegetable oil, canola, a clear oil. You can even use grapeseed oil. There's about 2 to 3 tablespoons there. Do not use extra virgin for this, because we're going to we're going to turn it now to a medium-high heat. We are next going to put in our fish. Okay, so make sure it's heat. Make sure you hear a sizzle when you put the fish in. Very important. And this is a non-stick pan. It's going to make it a lot easier. But you have to hear that sizzle once you put the fish in the pan. Now I'm going to turn it up to a high heat. I'm going to put in salt and pepper. I'm doing some fresh cracked pepper. My heat's high. So we have a high heat. We're going to take a peek and see if you have any color on one side. That's a good sign. Okay. So we're going to keep going. You can see I have a light brown. I'm going to go 1 more minute before I flip them over. So now we're going to flip them over. Be careful. Watch the oil. Tilt your pan. See how I'm tilting it that way? And I'm flipping it over. And then I'm going to keep going the same amount of heat on the other side. We're going to season this with salt and pepper on this side. Another 2 minutes of high heat. So now we're going to put our capers on the top. Come off to the side, that's alright. Okay, capers. And then half of our dill. Half our dill. There you go. And we're going to turn it down to medium heat now. We're going to now squeeze our lemon on top, all around. This gives us some moisture in the pan. I have a lower heat now. You can use a lemon squeezer to do your hand. Make sure you don't have any seeds in there. So the doneness on the fish depends on how you want it. Some people like their fish really well done. Some people like it medium rare. At this point, you need to start checking and seeing with a fork and seeing how much firmness you get in your fish. The softer it is, the less it's cooked. The firmer it is, the more it's cooked. We're now going to add a 1/4 cup of chicken stock to that and let that keep cooking on low heat. So it's been about 10 minutes now, and this is the thickest part. The thinner piece is going to take less time to cook than the thicker part. And let's do a little peekaboo on the thicker part. We have a little dark in the middle, so this is about a medium rare. But I know somebody that's going to be dining with me likes medium rare, so I'm going to stop there because I know this thicker piece is going to be less cooked than this piece, which is actually ready to go. So if you have a piece that's smaller, you could actually take the smaller piece out now. That way, the larger piece can cook just a little bit more. Alright, we're ready to plate this up. It smells really good. On fillets, you can put that on whatever plate you have. Leave that caper kind of sitting on the top. And then it's pretty simple. Your juice is going to go right on top of the salmon. Then just a little more dill at the end.